Let's go back to last week
Okay.
Against Gustavus. You always, as a coach, and our coaches always say, one play at a time. One play can determine the game. And on Saturday, that was pretty much the case, where you guys take a 14-10 lead on a Zach Wolf touchdown, and suddenly you get the kickoff, and they return it the whole way, and that kind of swung things for Gustavus. And then you were playing catch up the rest of the way. Talk about that. How one play can affect.
Yeah, it was a dagger. It certainly was. It certainly was still early in the game, so a lot to be played. But when you're on the road and you take a 14-10 lead and you're playing pretty well, you can't give up that kind of stuff. And it was just a couple guys getting out of their lane and opening it up, and he's pretty nifty runner. But yeah, and prior to that, Andy Grabdahl sets up Zach Wolf's touchdown with about a 68 to 73 yard kickoff return. So we're on the 30-yard line. One play later, we're in the end zone. So it's 14-10. Momentum most definitely in our corner, and then bam, it just changed like that. And now you're playing catch up. And when you're playing a really good football team like Gustavus is, you can't give them anything, especially on the road, So, we weren't fazed by it. We knew there was still a lot of time left. But I tell you what, playing catch-up it takes a lot of energy. And that certainly was kind of the case on Saturday. Every time we got a little bit close, then they found a way to make a play. And it was one of those days. We weren't consistent enough, and consistently finding that consistent rhythm, if that makes any sense at all. We were out of rhythm. When things were going well, then bam, we'd have a little mishap. So we just got to clean that kind of stuff up, and that's coachable stuff. We can certainly work on that, and we have been working on that this week.
I know you keep track of a goal board for each game with different phases. What kind of stuck out in that game on Saturday for the goal board?
Yeah, well, one big stat area that stuck out for me and our staff was, we were minus 17 on first down efficiency, and third down efficiency, I think we were at -1. So it's a team stat. So offensively on first down, we want to get more than 4 yards at a crack, okay? Because that makes your second and third down play calls a lot easier. And then vice versa, defensively, you want to keep them under 4 yards for the same exact reasons, okay? When we were minus 17, so first down was tough for us, and third down was better, but we got to get better in those two areas if we want to stay on the field longer and get teams off the field. So that stood out. There was some really good, like our average kickoff return, when we were at about the 44 yard line, and obviously with Grabdahl's big return, that helps in that stat category. But when you're close to midfield on your kickoff returns, that's a pretty good stat. And there were others. Our tackle efficiency, we were able to get that goal. 65% is our tackle efficiency through our Atavis program. We were at 71%, but our defensive staff will tell you, we had 14 missed tackles that had about 150 yards tacked onto it after those missed tackles. So those are areas too that we want to obviously continue to improve at. But all in all, you go on the road, all three phases, we did some really good things, and there were still some things that set us back, and those setbacks unfortunately put us on the losing end of the stick, which we don't want to be. But it's still early in the season. That's what we told our kids. We just got to get more consistent. We got to continue to keep battling and fighting, and live to play another day. And the best part about it is we get to play again Saturday.
Talk about that game on Saturday. You're going to face St. John's, ranked 5th in the country, coming off wins of, they beat Aurora and Martin Luther and now Bethel on Saturday in a really good game. Is this 2021 St. John's team, do they do anything differently than the past St. John's teams? Are they stronger in one area or another?
It's a good question. It's a typical St. John's team. They're great in all three phases. They're always well coached. Gary Foching and his staff do a great job. They've all been around the block a few times and then some. We have a lot of respect for that program. Offensively, they're more of a well-balanced attack this year. Jackson Erdman, he could slice it and dice it with anybody, and Aaron Severson can do the same thing. Aaron Severson can also beat you with his legs, but they're running the football effectively as well, which they always do, but they're pretty much 50-50, and that makes it tough to defend. And with all the different personnel groupings that they got great size at tight end, but they got great size up front, good solid running backs, good receivers. So if there's one stat category that I think they're different than they have been in the past, is probably offensively. They're more even and balanced, and that makes it even almost tougher to defend. But they got a really good defensive line. They really do. And I've said this last week prepping for Gustavus. We saw a really good defensive line in Valley City State, and they're still undefeated. You got Gustavus. And I thought Gustavus's defensive line was probably better in Valley City, and they're still undefeated. Now, I look at St. John's. I threw that film on, and I'm going, wow, their D line is impressive. They're explosive. They're physical. They put a lot of pressure on people, and they've played some good football teams. Aurora, who has a similar offensive tack to us, hung in there with them. But that D line and that linebacking core is solid, and their secondary is really good too. And Bethel, who goes into that game, they're undefeated as well. They're big, they're physical, they run the ball well, and they can throw it. And Rosti from Alexandria still leads that troops, and that was a really good football game. So. They've been challenged, and they've been winning those challenges. So Saturday will be a tough one for us, but it's going to be an exciting one. It's homecoming, and I guess I couldn't ask for a better team to be playing than St. John's, because that especially early in the year like this, homecoming is always a special time, and Concordia St. John's, when we match up, it's always special, all right? And I know some people are probably thinking, well, who scheduled this, St. John's, for your homecoming, for Pete's sakes? You can look at it that way, but you also could look at it like, this is what college football is all about. I tell our players, man, you put on the pads and you work your tails off all year long to play in games like this. You got the number 5 team in the country coming in here. And how exciting is that on homecoming? And we have nothing to lose. Just pin your ears back, go play, have fun. 60 minutes of football our way.
And it's similar to when in 2019 you went down there, beat him in overtime in kind of a game that was swung by the special teams with some blocked extra points, a return for an extra point. So there's always that in the back of that, like the veteran players' minds that have gone through it. Right. But you've got a lot of young players that have never played in a St. John's game. How is that effective? And has this week in practice, have the experienced players, have they been able to kind of convey what playing St. John's means? Yeah,
you're right. We got 145 guys on our roster, Jim, and about 100 of them have never been a part of this. They know the St. John's Concordia tradition, they do, but our upperclassmen, our captains, have done a nice job at really setting the tone. As coaches, we don't have to say a whole lot. This isn't like every single day, rah, 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 go get the Johnnies type of thing. You win Saturday games by your prep on Monday through Friday, and that prep's got to be, you got to be disciplined, you got to be focused, and you can't get overly hyped. We just know where we need to be come kickoff at 1 o'clock, and our varsity guys have made sure, our guys, that this is a different week. Our scout players, it's been one of the better scout weeks we've had, and they actually even had a JV game on Monday against Gustavus, which they won, and then they're right back at it, helping us out, getting prepped for St. John's. So it's been a fun week, and it'll be an exciting Saturday.
And it's homecoming, which is always special at Concordia. Do you have any special memories of the homecoming, not only of the game, but the whole week that leads up to it that Concordia puts on?
Well, it is a special place, and obviously, it's, as you know, it's my alma mater. The old school pageantry stuff is still here. The fireworks, the pep fests, the parade that goes down 8th Street. I don't know. 8th Street is, if people don't know, this is the main vein to Moorhead. And it's closed off pretty much from McDonald's all the way to our stadium, on Saturday game day mornings for a parade. That's a cool tradition. When you come to campus on Monday, there's maroon and gold everywhere. The homecoming committee, head by Eric Johnson, they get the streamers out. It's a big, big deal, and we love it. And then, it's our chapel's pretty special around here on game days, and especially on homecoming, because it's our Joshua Shield Day. We've got an alum and Giles Henry coming back to speak to our team, and then we hand out our Shields of Faith, our Joshua Shields, to all of our freshmen, all of our sophomores who missed last year, and anybody that's new in our program. But Giles Henry, I recruited out of St. Cloud Tech High School, and what's even great about this is pretty much most of his family time we went to St. John's. So this is a special game for him too. He was a captain for me in 2010, graduated in 2011, accounting major. He's been with Cargill ever since. Very successful. Just got married in 2020, and we're so happy to have him back. That's exciting. Then you've got the Hall of Fame, and one of our former greats and Brian Schumacher is getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. And you know, you've been here a while, James, is when you started, a lot of the players that you had back in the early 2000s are now starting to get inducted in the Hall of Fame. Well, Brian Schumacher, probably the best quarterback that I've ever coached. I mean, this is a two-time MVP of our league. We won the conference championship in 2004. In 2005, we had a heartbreaker with the Johnnies that ended up an undefeated season, but we got into the playoffs and did really well. He was the MVP that year as well. He was a heck of a baseball player here too for Bucky, so he's a dual sport athlete, and you know, just being able to see him and his family again will be really exciting. But yeah, homecoming is special. It really is. Our kids really look forward to it, and our alums come back, and you know, guys that have played for you, guys that I played with. I mean, it's special, and we want it to be a special day on Saturday.
It should be. Good luck on Saturday.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.